Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I don't have a bingo, and I do not have a good rack. Now I certainly want to split up the duplicate D, and the F is the least bingo-y tile, and I can't avoid playing off the A, so what about Fard? The C and the L have some synergy. Yeah, that's fine. Now I don't have a bingo, I don't think there's an 8, but I do have the Z for score and I have a couple of vowels to play with, so I'll have a range of options with this move. I'm wondering about Tzadi, T-Z-A-D-I, which would play in column 10. Okay, that's been taken out. Not sure if it's good anyway. Now, I do have rows E and K to consider as possible doubles. In particular, row K could end ED. So, do I have something? If I have something with the Z, it's going to score really well. I'm going to have to use 5 of these tiles. Okay, can't see anything there. I do have Citadel though. Let me see what this scores. I don't mind keeping the Z because it's a good scoring tile. I am playing off quite a lot of bingo-y tiles. And let's see if the score justifies it. 40 points, that certainly does justify it. I think the only thing better than this would be a double using the Z. Or possibly a play in column 9, placing the Z underneath the R of Fard. But I don't think there's something there. Now I was going to say through an S I would have pox virus, but my Z would need to be a U. Now I do have Vox in column 11 making Ho and X, which is going to score well. Okay, I think that's good, but I'm going to challenge it. Now, what I do have is Xi across here. And that's 52 points, which is a great score. Is there anything better? Well, if there was, it's likely to be in column 8, either placing my Z or my X on the double letter square at D8 above the U of Suffing, or below the A of Citadel, and reaching a triple word square. So I could play Pavior in column 8 at the bottom. 45 points. That's not bad because the V is a problem tile, and I'd be pretty sure to score well with the Z or the X next go. Now Xi above Citadel, 52, so I think I prefer Pavior. But do I have anything with the X or the Z on the double letter squares? Okay, I can't see anything at the bottom. Or at the top. And this is taking out a nice spot for my opponent. Now, provided I draw vowels, I should be okay. Well, I do draw a vowel, but I also draw a blank, which is good. And I'm looking to play off my Z and my X fairly quickly to bingo with my blank. Zax is good, and my opponent has provided a place to play it. across here. And that's 50 points, which is pretty good. Am I missing something better? Now the W and the B is not a great combination. Hopefully we'll be able to resolve this rack next go. This isn't a rack which can be resolved in one go. But 50 points is a pretty good score. Well, that's pretty grim. I do have brown in row N through the O of Pavior. And hopefully my opponent will be attracted to the X. Brown isn't going to score very much, but it's certainly going to resolve my rack. It's going to sort out both duplicates and play off the troublesome W. So what should I do if my opponent blocks it? Well, I'd certainly want to play off 1B and the W. Great. Not blocked. Now this isn't a fantastic lead, but given the starting point it's pretty good. Great, I draw an S. I've got 3 high scoring tiles in the B, the M and the Y, so I may not have a bingo, but I may. Now through an R or an A I would have Merbanes. And I'm wondering if Buyer's Man is an anagram of Merbanes. Merbanes doesn't play through the A of Otaku, but Buyer's Man would. I'm not sure on that. Now, okay, I was thinking about money bags, but that's a 9-letter word. Well, this looks pretty tempting. Especially with the floating O and A of Otaku, I could well have a bingo here. And I've got Citadel, which takes an S on the end, so a 7-letter play may play, 7-letter bingo. So I ought to consider the blank. Now that would be my Buyer's Man play. Not seen anything yet. I don't know why it does this. I want to go through keeping them in alphabetical order, but that's not working. Okay. I think with the blank not being a vowel, I really am restricted to considering the O and the A. Now I have the LY ending. Gosh, is there something here? Embryons might be good. Okay, I'm running out of letters. So, do I go for Buyer's Man? I think I am going to try it. It doesn't feel completely fanciful. And it's certainly, if it stays on the board, it's going to be a pretty good score. Buyer's Man 86. Well, there'll be some benefit if it comes off. I'll be spared this horror show of a 7-vowel rack. But if it stays on, do I change or do I play? I do have the 4-vowel word u-oi, which would leave a-i-u. Not too bad. Probably better than changing, if I can score more than 10 points. I've got etui through the T of otaku. 12 points. Well, that's probably close to changing. I've got a 45-point lead if this stays on the board. Comes off. Oh well, I get to keep my blank. And I don't have to deal with that ghastly rack, but it's annoying it came off. I think there could be a bingo here, but I'm not going to spend further time looking for it. I'm going to play off some of my troublesome letters. Now, I certainly want to play off the Y, and it's a case of playing off the B with it or the M. And I'd quite like to keep everything else. Well, there aren't many great spots. For my tiles. I'm looking in column 9 to see if I can take advantage of the double letter squares at above and below the R of fard, and I can't. I could play by in row O, making by twice, but that doesn't feel great. But I've got the blank, so the priority is to leave the best possible rack leave, and not obstruct bingo lanes. So 14 points, pretty poor. But I'm keeping the good tiles in otaku free, and the citadel hook. Okay, surely I have something with this. Bemoans is a 7. Don't think that plays. Let's see if I can get this to work. I think I'll just cycle through it at the front. So that's bemoans. I think ancomies is good. So an A, I would have adenomas. There is an A in otaku, so I've got adenomas in row C. Mangoes, is that good? Not sure. Handsome. Don't think that's good without the D. I'd really like to find something which pluralizes citadel. That looks like there's a word. Milanos, I think, is good. Not sure if it's got an anagram. And that would play in row F. Gammonies, I think, is the alternative to mangoes. Again, not sure anywhere to play that. Oarsmen, that's it. Monas and oarsmen. I've got oarsmen in column 12, making citadels as well. And I'm glad I've spotted that, because my opponent does take out, for not many points, the floaters in otaku. And there's still a blank unplayed, so this should bring me right back into the game. And I've got over 10 minutes on the clock. So Oarsmen and Citadel, 79 points. And I have Inditer and Night Tried. And Night Tried plays in row G, making F. So if I get to play that, that'll be quite fortunate. It also plays in row I, making FE. Now, does Inditer have any other anagrams? Inditer, Night Tried. Don't think so. Now, looking at the score, we're dead level. So certainly if my opponent doesn't bingo and I do bingo, I will have, I'll be in a good position. Now the Sea of Citadel is available as a floater if it's in precisely 6th spot. So I've got re-indite, Inditer. Doesn't quite work. Shoot stops me considering rows A and C because I don't have an H for going underneath the C. And there's no bingo lanes in the right of the board. And neither of my bingos plays in row F. Great, my opponent challenged Oarsmen or Citadels, and he has 5 points deducted from his score, so we're no longer level, I'm leading. Now, if my Night Tried spot stays available, should I play in row G or I? I'm thinking row I. Well, Has my opponent... Well, my opponent has provided another opportunity, and I think it's one I should take. Because even if it scores not quite as much, it's not opening up the triple. It's not opening up a 9-timer. And the score differential isn't going to be very much. So Night Tried and L. Inditer doesn't play. Yeah, 62 points, that's fine. And I get some of those vowels that I avoided by phonying. So not a great rack, but I do have a scoring tile in the M, and I do have a 48-point lead. Now there is a pretty good bingo lane in column 2, and the remaining tiles are quite bingo-y. So if my opponent doesn't bingo, I may think about obstructing that lane. So I don't think anywhere else on the board is particularly bingo-y. But it may be tricky to obstruct it and score well. And sort the rack out. Because at the moment it's pretty imbalanced with 5 vowels. Muti is good, M-U-T-I, that would be quite nice. Yeah. Okay, well that's good by my opponent, good for my opponent. He's opened up a new bingo lane in column 14. Now, let's see what this does. Yeah, this stops the 7-letter bingo lane in column 2, provides an M as a floater, which isn't particularly useful. Rackley's pretty good. The Rackley that I have goes quite well with the M. And 21 points is quite good. But is Muti good? I don't want to play another phony. I'm having doubts about it. That is a shame, but I am having doubts. Yeah, I think it is good, because I think Mutis is also good. Well, hopefully this stays on. Still doesn't look quite right. And what about my rack? I don't have a 7, do I have an 8 through the M? Gosh, looks close, but I don't think I do. And I have no scoring tiles. These are bingo-y tiles, but not scoring tiles. If I played off the O and the E, I would be keeping A-E-I-N-S, which is pretty good, but slightly vowel heavy. Let me consider the remaining vowels. 6 vowels out of 17 tiles. Okay, so it's not a vowel heavy bag. Great, Mooty stays on. Only 9 points for my opponent. Fantastic. 8 tiles left. If I play off only the O and the E, then there will be 3 good bingo lanes available for me. So I could play Goer down here. 11 points. Surely I can do better than that. O and E. I could play Pager playing off the A and the E. But I think the A is a much better tile than the O, and there are no A's left, so I think OE is definitely better. 7.5 minutes left. $11 points. What about Evo down here? 11 points. Well, maybe that's the most I can get. And this rack leave, A-E-I-N-S, goes really well with the M. Great, I think. Detains in column 14. But is there one through the M? That's what I'm really agonising over. Tidesman, fantastic. Does Tidesman have an anagram? Tidesman medians. Great, medians beginning with an M. Fantastic. I've got medians in column 1. Great. Now, the bag was looking quite bingo-y. It's looking less so now because there's a shortage of vowels and there's a J, a V, and a Y. If my opponent does bingo, he'll be emptying the bag and I'll be bingoing straight back to win. So this game is won. Median, certainly the best bingo I have. And I also have andesite in column 15 onto the E of Roo. Well, Medians is going to score more than that. So, a choice of bingos at the end of this game. The bag is empty. I am ahead before this bingo, so this is just going to increase my lead. $80 points for that. Just wait for my opponent to finish the game, which he does with a challenge. And the final score, 311 to my opponent, 463 for me. A winning margin of 152 points, which I think is a lot more than it was looking like for most of the game, especially after my phony. Let's see what I missed. Right, me to go first. Calf, well, I don't think that rack leave is particularly great, so I prefer sacrificing 2 points to change it to CDL. Dits for 38 would have kept CAL, Citadel for 40 keeps Z, not a great deal between those. Nice bingo by my opponent. And this is where I was agonising between Xi and Pavia. They may not be similar, but it's difficult for me to tell it with just an instant review. But I still think Pavia looks quite good. But it did mean that I was not going to have a bingo-y rack here. And I could have burnt my blank for 19 more points, but I think Zax looks best. Brown N6, that was my play. Now, what bingo did I miss? Ooh, Sunbeamy. Now, hang on. Embryons. Why didn't I play that? A3. Gosh, okay, well that's remiss. I thought of embryons and overlooked the fact that it does play, and Benno Mills also playable, and Sunbeamy, so pretty poor show with my Byersman. And then the same bingos were available, and I played Bye. And I played it in row O. I could have played it underneath the F of Fard for more points, so not a great play. But straight back with Oarsman for 79. I could have got 8 more points for Rhodesman. Oh, nice, beginning with the R of Pavia. Quite fortunate I picked up a bingo out of the bag, doesn't happen very often. Nitride. Ami for 30. Well, this is where I played Mooty and agonised over it. And I think Mooty is the better play. Yeah, no high-scoring plays available here, so I think playing off the O and the E was best. And I was rewarded with andesite. So, a good game in that I won with a big score and a big margin, but poor game in the sense that I missed some bingos which I knew on 2 successive racks, but that happens all the time, so just suck it up and move on. My name's David Webb. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and got something out of it.